Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Civic Lens and I'm your host Max Ogola. Now on our top story today, the Iebc has come out clearly to say that they are unable to hold the 24 by-elections that are set for the 27th November this year, 2025, as per right now. The Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Mr. Marjan, alongside the chairperson of the commission, Erastus Ethekon, while they were appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament, disclosed to the Public Accounts Committee that as per right now, they are unable to hold all the 24 by-elections. Mr. Marjan told the committee that as they are right now, they have a total of 788 million Kenyan shillings, and this can only fund around 16 by-elections, leaving 8 by-elections outside their current funding. So for these 8 by-elections, they require an additional 258 million that the Treasury is yet to release to them. So Tindi Mwale, who is the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament, was worried, just like maybe you and I could be, on how does the Iebc arrive at the by-elections to fund and the by-elections not to fund, when they say that they can only fund 16 by-elections with the 788 million that they have right now. How do they filter out of the 24 which by-election to fall within the 16 and which by-election to fall within the remaining 8 that requires an additional 258 million to be released from the Treasury? And for this, Mr. Marjan highlighted that the criteria they are using is that previously they had submitted requests to the Treasury for 16 counties, but then circumstances led to other vacancies occurring after their initial request of 16 counties, and so they were giving priority to these 16 counties. The chairperson of the commission also emphasized the statements of the Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Erastus Ethekon explained to the committee that they were trying to focus on the by-elections that had existed or created a vacancy for a longer period before they attribute funding to the rest of the by-elections that occurred recently. This just borders on what Marjan was saying on the initial request. However, Mr. Erastus Ethekon, who also promised to inform Kenyans on their state of preparedness moving forward, highlighted categorically that he is confident that on the 27th of November 2025, all the 24 by-elections will be held. So all eyes are on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission on whether or not they are going to conduct this particular by-elections in fair manner, in a proper manner, as a test run for the 2027 elections. They are saying they are currently in conversation with the Treasury, and the Treasury is yet to release for them an excess amount of 258 to make them fully confident on their request of 10.4 billion Kenyan shillings that they require to make these elections come success. So this is happening as pressures are mounting different counties ahead of these by-elections, in places like Baringo, in places like Kasipul, where there is also by-elections of the late assassinated Ongondo Were, in places like Malulu Madanje's exit in Malava, in places like Mbeere North, where Ruku has left the ground. So as pressures and political alignments occur in these different constituencies, the Iebc is putting its house in order, which is really not in order financially, ahead of 27th of November 2025. Now let's go to our main story. Our main story today, ladies and gentlemen, is a focus, or rather a threat that was made by the governor of Tharaka Nithi County, Muthomi Njuki, to President William Ruto. We are putting our focuses independently to Tharaka Nithi County. And this is the reason why we are putting our focus to Tharaka Nithi County. Tharaka Nithi County, which is a medium-sized county with a total of around 331,000 plus individuals, is a county that is formed by 3 independent sub-counties. So we have the Chukai Gambangombe constituency, then we have the Mara constituency, and then we have the Tharaka constituency. These 3 constituencies form the Tharaka Nithi County. Now, these 3 constituencies have representatives who are all within the UDA government right now. Governor Muthomi Njuki himself is from the UDA government. Remember that Tharaka Nithi County is also the home of the current Deputy President, Honorable Kithure Kindiki. Now, if you look at Tharaka constituency that's under Gitonga Muragara, Gitonga is serving for his second term and is currently serving under the UDA party. You look at Mara constituency that's under Kaleke Mbuki. Kaleke is serving for his fourth term and currently is serving under the UDA party ticket. Then you look at the Chukai Gambangombe constituency that's under Patrick Munene. Patrick is serving for his third term and is currently under the UDA government. This portends a picture of seasoned politicians who are grounded into their political rooting with their ground support. And then there is Muthomi Njuki. All these individuals are currently in government. Kindiki in government. Now, Muthomi Njuki is telling Ruto that if he does not meet certain terms, then by 2027 or even before 2027, the entire Tharaka Nithi County will move from the government to the united opposition. The first question we need to understand is, where does Tharaka Nithi really stand right now? Are they in the united opposition as a county, or are they in government? The vice president of the nation comes from Tharaka Nithi County, so that maybe makes some individuals believe that as a county they rally behind the government. Their MPs are all elected from the government party. However, at the ground, the people of Tharaka Nithi are divided on whether they are supporting President William Ruto or they are looking for the other options. And Muthomi Njuki listens to this ground. As a result of that, he is on a very huge pedestal with the people, because if he represents the government and the government does not deliver to the grassroots people, then it is his seat on fire come 2027. And so this pressure that the people of Tharaka Nithi is putting on their governor is the same pressure that the governor is transferring to the president. He's saying that if the president does not meet these certain terms, then he will not have any policies to defend the president with come 2027. And even before that 2027, the entire Tharaka Nithi County might move towards the opposition. So let's look at the terms and conditions this good governor is giving President Ruto. There is this bridge called Nithi Bridge. Nithi Bridge has been a conversation that politicians have used seasonally to advocate for votes from the Tharaka Nithi area. It's a very dangerous bridge that has been used as a campaign tool. Now, Ruto also used it as a campaign tool, and he promised previously before the 7 billion, he promised that within the first 100 days of his term in office, he was going to construct Nithi Bridge to the current standards of bridge globally. Now, the 100 days lapsed while Gachagua was still the vice president, and there is nothing that happened to Nithi Bridge. Kindiki came from the same Tharaka Nithi County, and nothing happened to Nithi Bridge even within the first 100 days of Kindiki himself. And then Kindiki promised alongside President William Ruto for a 7 billion Kenyan shillings funds to be set aside for the construction of this bridge. How far that money has arrived, or whether that bridge has been constructed, the bridge has not been constructed, and we don't know where the money is. So Muthomi Njuki, the governor of Tharaka Nithi, is telling Ruto that if this money is not released and the Nithi Bridge is not constructed, then he might not have any policies to defend Ruto with come 2027. And then he's also talked about roads like the Keria Magutini Road. That road specifically required an upgrade from bitumen, an upgrade to bitumen. And this road is a road that is also a condition. Then there is the Weru Chogoria Road. The Chogoria Weru Road rather. This road also is a condition that he has set aside for Ruto, that if the Chogoria Weru Road is not made, the Nithi Bridge is not made, and the Keria Magutini Road is also not made, by the time 2027 is arriving, he might not have any policies to defend Ruto with. But there are other roads that were also as bad as these roads that Muthomi Njuki is talking about, but has seriously been made since, like the Marimanti Runduni Road. This road has been made because it passes through the vice president's home. And so they could be said that there's selective infrastructure going on in Tharaka Nithi, and this calls for a call like what's going on with Muthomi Njuki right now for President President Ruto to look at that county as sensitively as the home of the Vice President that requires full support for his party. And if the people are then disraged with him, then he's losing a grip of a place that he requires the most. So while these roads like Marimanti Uragate are still waiting, the Chogoria Weru Road is still yet to be made, the Keria Magutuni Road is still yet to be made, there is actual construction and perfection going on in Marimanti Runduni. And these roads mean something to Muthomi Njuki, because in his speech he was saying he went to Homa Bay and roads were blazing hot. Construction and developments in Homa Bay were blazing hot. They were fresh and they were happening. And he was wondering whether it's really the Homa Bay people that really voted for Ruto, or the Tharaka Nithi people who, as we have highlighted just shortly, have all their MPs coming from the UDA government. Talking of Homa Bay, remember Homa Bay hosted the International Women's Day in around March. Homa Bay went ahead to host the inter-county youth sports, and then shortly after, Homa Bay hosted the Madaraka Day, or they hosted the Blue Economy Summit, they hosted the Devolution Conference, and all these events have been happening within a space of 1 year. The year is not even over. We still don't know what else Homa Bay can host. So this regional imbalance in development is what Muthomi Njuki is saying, that if Ruto does not take actively, then he might only have Kindiki as his supporter from the Tharaka Nithi County, with the entire region shifting their focus from the government to the united opposition. This is the Civic Lens.